DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Yes, hello, and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back. It is that time of the night where we have to talk about what happened in that court. It's a lot that happened in one day.
Yeah.
ZUNGU, understand. That's what matters. Mozi finally gets to rest. The man all the way from Mahlabatini, Osuthu. Besuthungo, Sosotho, Osuthu, insizwa, Sakams, Sasosuthu, is there. Yes, they definitely do expect everything to be hostile. It's not something we didn't expect. The court was indeed the court. The court did what we expect, which defense should expect, and everyone should expect the court to do everything in its power to quote the law. Yeah. Koroge Zungu indeed told the court that he still feels that the court is doing exactly what those police came and did to him, including his son. Right?
Yeah.
Including his son, those police.
He really doesn't like his father, in my opinion.
A man did everything to make sure that the father feels the pain. The father lives in fear, looking
over his shoulder.
Over your shoulder.
No, this is worse than in.
But what was confirmed, indeed, is that he never grew up at Basotho, at Osuthu. He never grew up there. The father confirmed it. He said he was raised by the mother in Newcastle. So, what did those so-called criminals, as you would put it, those who are minions of the states, they would put it, criminals. These criminals who are liars, who lie about whether they were in Joburg or what, who lie about everything. Here's a man who gave birth to this, I don't know what to call this man, from what I'm hearing from the father, who paid for him to get the license, who paid for him, who never abandoned him. Yes, he was raised by the mother, but the man was present in the form of finances and whatnot.
And being a father.
Being a father to his kid.
Maybe he feels some type of way. Maybe this is some kind of punishment he wanted to give his father. Kwazibadi. Because wow, it's a lot. And Yena, he's sitting right now at a safe house. He's been there since 2020.
Is that so?
Like that. Yes, he's sitting at a safe house now.
Is that what they're saying? Still in the safe house?
They are saying that those are the reports coming from the state.
Right.
He's safe. He's sitting in a safe house, but his father now is living the ghetto life. You know.
He couldn't wait. Awkward. You can tell he couldn't wait to come here.
Yes, he wants this.
His life was in danger from both sides. You know, in my opinion.
Imagine
if you look
now
at
he's in a state where he doesn't even trust the police because of what they did to him. They took him. They drove him to the field somewhere to make a statement.
But one thing for sure, he denies signing the statement.
Yes, he said he couldn't sign it. He's never seen a statement.
And so he denies the like statement.
Yeah, Aisha, it's a lot. Like these strategies and techniques that they are using of just kidnapping people, in my opinion. Hi, this is too much. Why are they so allergic to police stations?
People were in charge at the time. It looks like they were in charge. They knew what they were doing. They were doing what they wanted to do anytime.
This is so awkward. Like, I'm like, but Emelo has a police station. Why couldn't you go to a police station, sit down properly, fill in a statement properly, take the evidence properly? What is so wrong with that? Why are they going to fields and houses in the bundus or something like that? And sure, the anxiety.
If my son,
It's like they don't want you to be sober-minded as you are giving that statement. You
if
can't
my
think
son,
straight.
there was never a statement that was given by him from what he's
He
read
says
there.
he never gave it.
They
just
even
wrote
love the Tembisa. Kushuthi Tembisa, it's a playground for
Yeah.
these people.
it. Yeah.
But the behavior now, if you did follow the case of Radovan Krecher, it does not fall far from that behavior. In fact, it's a copy and paste if you listen to it. It's a very much copy and paste. Right. Criminals got to be criminals. That's one thing for sure they do. They first criminalize you if you are not having any criminal record, so that we call you a criminal, I guess, allegedly. That's how they move from what we see here.
It's very awkward.
So, because Muzi now has a criminal record, because the court of Tembisa played along, in my opinion. As the other
gave it to
court
him.
refused to play along with
in
Muzi.
Rustenburg with Ntanzi.
Within dance, yes.
They were like,
So the new
Throw
story
this
is
case
that
out.
the man that was written down there is the man that for the first time fetched ZUNGU, because hunger would put you in places where people decide to use you. When ABSALOM ZUNGU explained the situation of Muzi's brother, who was hungry because he did not work,
no, it's Ntanzi's brother.
Ntanzi's brother, and he had to go and fetch this ZUNGU, who eventually puts him against ABSALOM ZUNGU. And he shifts them from Emelo, he puts them in Durban, in Mekuku of Durban. That's a very funny story and a very wrong one. But they sure know how to choose them. If this theory that is unfolding in front of us is anything to go by.
Manje siyithini indaba ka ZUNGU phela Constable Size ZUNGU, he would needed to be fetched, right? He needed to be fetched every time he visited his father. The first time he went there, he was fetched at the spa, spa, and bagibela naye ubaba uthi ngakhipha nemali,
Borrowed money. Borrowed money because he was at work.
Yes, and then so the polo in 2014 of work, the one whose AVL records did not make it to court.
It was not there by the looks of things, or it was parked somewhere. God knows where.
And as far as his father knew, he had been employed. Ubesengenile maphoyiseni.
But one thing for sure, the theory of Muzi, without anything, it has proven itself again. He comes with a picture around 2018, 2017. That's what the father said. He stole, he said, he took a picture of Muzi sitting on the bed. So this guy had Muzi's picture
Yes.
long time ago.
Yes. He did. He had his picture all along. And it's giving a sense that he didn't like Muzi.
So probably the story started long time ago.
Yes. It's giving a sense ukuthi lo muntu lo isitha kuMuzi. That's what it's giving. It's giving that vibe. You know, right now with social media, you post a picture Anybody has access to that picture. So the people that hate you, the people that hate you can do a lot with your pictures.
This is the start of the circus.
It's giving a vibe that either he's jealous of him or he really doesn't like him. But something is there. There's some resentment, especially towards Muzi. Because that's the one that he gave to the police.
When Muzi said, we don't know this guy, we didn't grow up with this guy.
Together.
Minions called him liars.
They said he's lying.
Liar, 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 liar. He is the father of your trusted witness. He is the father of the theory why we are in court denouncing. Forget about that. He's not willing to be led. He wants to talk. And this is working hard in trying to contain him. The fact is, he's denouncing the theory. Now, here's the next question. If the main man denounced the theory, then what happens?
In a normal court, this case must be thrown out. But it seems like that's not what the judge wants to do. He doesn't want to do that. He will do it all besides that. So, I don't know how they're going to stretch this.
No, Babu Zungu does not need to be coached. What he was telling is the truth.
Yes.
So it's not going to be smooth sailing. All he wants to talk, honestly speaking.
He just wants that platform. Wants is
the platform to talk. You can tell that Mnis is working so hard to try to contain him. Eventually, he will give him the chance. I believe Mnis is a seasoned prosecutor. He's going to give him a chance to speak. But for now, he's just ticking the boxes of the so-called fucked up law.
And also they need to do a comparison of those signatures. That's very crucial and important. They must be done. Take signatures from every other sources, the way if he signed and compared with the signature that is there on this alleged statement that he made. Very important, that task. What else is important? Really, they have to focus on making sure that statement was not written by him. And if the signature
and that is the signature. The main thing on that is the signature.
The signature is very important. They need to run the comparison of the signature. And also, like, the details. This is the time to use that strategy. I saw him
is actually moving nicely by asking.
Going step by step through the statement. They are saying you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did you do this? They're saying that you went to Kwamashu with Mbekiseni and you guys were talking about this case and Warawara and his dinner. Just like that, tomorrow he must just continue with that. Every single sentence, every single stanza, every single paragraph, let it be read to him so that he knows what was written on that statement.
You cannot coach these old people, man. You can't. You
see, he came ready, even came with notes, he came prepared.
You cannot coach them.
And his heart was so broken when they now wanted access to those notes. He's like,
he doesn't trust them.
He doesn't trust them. It's not about him having something to hide. He doesn't trust them. Can you recognize that he's been harassed to that extent by the people that he believed were hired to protect us? I mean, when you see police, you are thinking, safety, but not in South Africa. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
You are seeing criminals when
Next
you see
thing
police.
You are put in a car and driven all the way across provinces.
With your so-called son.
Made to sit on the floor. Made to sit on the floor of the car.
Omuzi have been saying we were beaten.
They did. So if they were capable of doing that to the old man.
If they are capable of doing this to an old man, what stops them from doing
more?
Omuzi?
More to people that they need to admit certain admissions. Because without them making those admissions, what is their case? What is the evidence against Musi? What is the evidence against Ntanzi that they had before they signed the confessions? What was the evidence against them? What was put before them to say you were seen, you were spotted at the Spaza house, or you made a phone call to Kelly Kumar? Something. Nothing. Just grab them, arrest them.
And we must again clap for the connection, the feeling between the judge and Baloyi. Almost being able to finish each other's sentence and read each other's minds.
That was
just
so
when
weird.
we are in a break, you guys come back and wow.
You're singing the same tune. Someone is ready with authorities. Someone is being reminded. What is the authority?
Oh, what a coherent, a working environment.
And then he says, we was about to get up. We was about to get up as they said. No, but he was relaxed. He didn't show any signs of getting up and addressing the note situation.
Oh, shame, man. It's a nice one.
Yeah, and the things that are happening in this court, I can't.
Even the objection is just not in line. It keeps on changing and shifting, and then eventually we get to a point where we are telling people to use the statement that the man is denouncing.
Yes, that's what he wanted. He wanted him to use that statement that he says he did not write.
Oh, what a
they
connection.
must reference. Now they were hijacking him. He's a defense witness. They are hijacking him to be a state witness.
Oh, man. Oh. What a nice relationship they have. In the name of law. May they stick together all the time. But right, let us hear what happened in short.
You know, Mr. Anonymous, I had an appetite. I don't know if we can start with calls. Is it fine?
Someone complained about that, but I don't know. We can open the lines.
Guys, we'll just open the lines because I know there's a lot of people who have a lot of things to say. And if there's silence like this, I can go through my notes. It's fine. Yeah, but we'll wait. The lines are open. I feel like people have a lot on their chest.
But as we wait,
let me go through.
Please do the honorable thing.
So court resumed to rather an awkward start in the morning because I was wondering where's everybody, what's going on. But I could see that Advocate Nisi was not there. But then when he came back, he said that they were held up with a technical glitch somewhere. Now the judge was asking Advocate Baloyi if he ever practiced privately as they were waiting for Advocate Nisi. Baloyi said no, so he's been a state prosecutor all his career. He's never practiced privately. So the judge asked if he just did his pupillage. Baloyi said no, he's always been a prosecutor. And then the judge said, so you must have been taught ethics. Baloyi said yes, as a prosecutor, ethics is an integral part of their program. And the interesting thing is that if he's talking about training, this has happened, I would estimate about 30 years ago. This is the time where I stop you.
Mzansi, hello.
Hi, Mitano and Sisemeli.
Hi.
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call and affording me the opportunity to rent.
Yeah.
Mitano, I'll start by saying, the people from the little corner province of South Africa called KZN, they shall cause trouble. That's how start with that. But going back to the court case, Mr. Han, why would Mr. ABSALOM come from whatever Mpumalanga where he works from, but there's in KZN, come to Pretoria to make a statement and use a Tembisa address?
It's an interesting days. It's a very interesting day. Same question could go to why wouldn't Danze use Mpumalanga address?
Yes. All I'm going to, you can see that he didn't write it because how would he even know that?
Well, at least we know he did not write it because it is apparently Gininda's hand.
Yes. And you can see who was working with the brigadier is the son.
Mm-hmm.
And where does he work? Where does the son work?
Tembisa.
In Tembisa. Yeah, and where does he stay? He stays in Tembisa.
That is true.
Yes. So it was just one of those gray moments. And I don't understand this issue of notes. Remember, the policeman, he was given few days to go to look for those notes. You remember that?
Notes, yes. Shredded notes.
Yes.
That's the way.
Yeah, they were not a diary. Those were not a diary. They were not. Yeah. He was given a chance to go and travel and look for them, and he came back empty-handed. And today, we have a witness who comes with his own notes now. He didn't say someone wrote it for me. He is just refreshing the memo. But the good thing is, he put a disclaimer that if I say something that doesn't tolerate, don't come and attack me because you are refusing that I go for my notes. And for the first time, I saw the judge being logged on, face off, where he got an answer and then he was just blinking. Then I said, yeah, you got this guy.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not saying that, but that's what you were saying. And he says, one day someone will help me, not here. Because you guys are just the same way police did to me, the same way you're doing it to me. Which was perfect. Yeah. My other comment would be like to say, I wish Mr. Nisi had better control of the conversation. It's just that I think the guy wanted to vent quite a lot, so I understand. But I think tomorrow, you'll be cooled down. You would have seen how it's going and you must lead him in a better way. And the good thing is, he denounced that I don't know anything on those statements, that whatever is being written, because it has been made the Bible true that what is in the statement is him. And he says, I don't know about that. I didn't think to do that.
Yeah.
And then what does that make the statement? What does that make that statement?
Null and void.
You can attack. You can attack him and say he's not credible or whatever. I know Balo is gonna try to do that, to say he's not a credible witness and try to threat him like he was trying to do with the movie. I know he's going to do that, but you cannot erase the fact that the guy does not know where this statement was written from. Because he's probably hearing, and it's not the first time he's done. I remember Senzo ZUNGU, Brigadier said Senzo came with the fact, and Senzo said he doesn't know about that. Even Senzo was saying, I didn't take my father to the office to take the statement. Even the constable did say so.
Yeah.
And you see this guy saying, no, I never went to any office, never took any statement, which was perfect. And another point, Misano, is something that was discussed a day or 2 days yesterday, the day before yesterday. You know, there was an issue of Moses' girlfriend when they were still cross-examining. They said there was a girlfriend that he did saying she knows about Senzo Meyiwa case. And apparently it was a statement by this other, I think it's Butelez or Simpio or something like that. And then they said the incident happened in June 2020. It made me realize that no, that can't be. Just that they need to draw a timeline, because Muzi was arrested 30th or 31st of May. Already by June, he was already being interviewed and doing their statements. He couldn't have beaten the girlfriend then because he was already arrested. Yes. Yeah, you go, because it came under cross-examination or re-examination by me, those issues of the girlfriend. And as I was listening to it, I thought this didn't make sense to me, because I know Muzi was arrested in May, and this one was arrested in June. Yeah, and I don't know how long this witness is going to be there for. I mean, I don't know. And you could see, I think when they started with Muzi, I did call when they started with Muzi. I had a feeling it was going to take the whole year, but it almost took the whole year.
Yeah, it did.
And let's see how we go with the Madala. But the defense after Madala, they must bring Gwabini. They must bring Gwabini, and Gwabini will put the final nail to this setting.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
Yeah, just thanks.
Cheers. Right, Emela uthathe kancane qhubeke.
Okay. So he said that they were talking about Advocate Baloyi and the fact that or asking if he had done ethics, and I'm like,
That looked like a jab to probably one of Nise or something.
Because now he was asking if he knew Engelbrecht. And Engelbrecht, Baloyi said that he was one of the people that came to teach them ethics. Mm-hmm. So I don't know whether also this was trying to convince us that Baloyi had excessive ethics training compared to the other legal counsel, of which I would say 3 out of the 4 have experience as prosecutors.
Sorry, Emel. Mzansi, hello.
Hello. Good morning, Nomas.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. Miss Emily, how are you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
Slightly excited. Today was a different day anyway.
Yeah.
It was an interesting day in court, yeah. Now I'd like to start with at the beginning when Nisi was also looking excited, talking of witness X-ray. Even the judge looked a bit uncomfortable, allegedly. Anyway, the body language wasn't really whatever he agent, like whatever, very quickly, and he just looked a bit uncomfortable and put allegedly. Then going on to the issue of the notes, my suspicion is Baloyi just wanting to frustrate the witness because he continued. That's one. 2, usually the judge is very harsh with the other guys when he's ruled, because I thought it was a ruling to say, okay, he can go ahead and use the notes. But this whole thing continued. And I thought after the judge has ruled, Baloyi is being allowed to continue to go back to the same issue. I thought we were moving on with the... Then it wasn't clear whether it was a judgment, whether he was just throwing it out there to say, okay, you do as you please. Then, like, who's in charge here? What are we supposed to do? He's requested to use his notes. Are you giving him the go-ahead? Are you not? It just felt a bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Then coming to the issue of the statement, Baloyi was working so hard to then come back later on allegedly and say the witness, the defense are the ones that introduced the statement, because he was working so hard for that statement to be used. And as I'm saying that
because that was a main statement.
It's the defense time. He seems to be wanting to push to say, there's a statement already, it's an exhibit in this court, then you will come back later on and say the witness, the defense are the one that introduced this statement. So he was really pushing so hard for that to be used as Mr. ZUNGU's anyway. So just wondering anyway how he thing, but I can almost see that already he started playing his games of trying to frustrate him. And of course, getting rid of the notes so that the timeline for Babu Zungu doesn't really link up. Then he will use it as an unreliable witness.
But
then one also.
Here's the question, though.
Sorry.
Can the state, because technically this witness is their witness before they handed it, they handed this witness to the defense. Can now the state seem to be impeaching their own reliable witness?
And the backbone of their case, really.
Yes.
Yeah, the spine, so to speak, anyway, of that case. If he's not, then what are we saying? So we start from Kininda. I don't know. Well, if he's not credible, the defense can also use that. Then that you can't rely on a statement from a witness that you don't think is reliable yourself. So it's a difficult one, I suppose. It's a catch-22 for them. Hence, maybe the pushing of the statement to be used. But I just wonder whether an accused that Baloyi can twist him to continue to cross-examine him on a statement that is denouncing? Would a witness who's coming from whatever, from KZN come in and, well, I hear the fear that can be used to say he's in fear, but who is in fear of police?
People are arrested.
If the Ginindas that are part of the state, the police are saying we'll protect you, would he fear the so-called whatever? At the moment, I mean, I don't know whether these criminals that you would be fearing are so heavy that even police cannot assure him to feel safe enough for him to stand. And I put this in quotes, to stand because he's fearing for his life, that the police will not be able to assure him and then really protect him and make him feel assured that they can protect him. And the courtroom today was full of police. I don't know what police those ones were, whether the protection or who's protecting him now, whether the criminals have got him security then from.
It was full of police officers.
Because there was quite a lot of police. I don't know whether that was part of his security or what the case was. Quite interesting that he could be so fearful of the underworld that even the state protection would not make him speak the truth if he's the one that penned that statement. It's just laughable, to be honest. And just wondering what is going now, since he was so adamant. Even coming back to the North thing, Red, he exchanged with even Uram Sipili, didn't even give him the chance to finish what he wanted to say. Then he says, no, it was a statement, not North. When Baloyi read the record, it mentioned North. Then he says, that never makes a mistake, and he never admits, and it was quick. Then Baloyi reads the authorities as well. It comes back. Then it turned to, oh, no, what we are asking for is for the witness to show us the notes because Gininda showed whatever. Like, no, but you guys were it wasn't in law. Now that you found something that, yes, it is permissible, but he's got to show all the parties. Then it's changed to say we were asking to be shown the notes. And I suppose, as you say, it's an issue of trust for him to hand it over. And I will be a bit being an old man, maybe even ukubanjwa amaphepha akho ukubanjwa banjwa, he might come back and not see anything in his mind. He'll be thinking, bazahlekisela into zabo ngicina ngingasaboni Jona Passon. No one is touching my papers. And anyway, now those are my 2 cents. I will leave for others to also make their contribution.
Thank you, Sebong.
So Mnisi resumed with re-examination of Sibiya in the morning, and Mnisi said there's a person that was mentioned in cross-examination by the name of Simpiwe Buthelezi, and he asked Sibiya if he knew this person. Sibiya said he doesn't know them, and Mnisi then said, now it was put to you in cross-examination that the day on which Brigadier Gininda started to interact with you was on the 30th of May at Vosloorus, and when he spoke to you, he also made some certain notes in his diary. Sibiya said that the prosecutor is saying that, but Gininda was never writing anything while he was talking to me on that day. And then Mnisi said, let us follow what the state said without validating anything. A copy of his diary was handed up as an exhibit, and Mnisi asked for a 10-minute adjournment at this point. He left some documents, he said, in his office and needed 10 minutes to go fetch them, and he asked for that indulgence. So when he came back, he said about Simpiwe Buthelezi, there's information that was read on the record that allegedly came from him. When Mr. Mgomezulu was cross-examining Mr. Gininda, part of what was read into the record is something that came from Simpiwe Buthelezi, was that around January 2020 he went to Vosloorus and he had, I don't know from who, but he said he heard that you had a quarrel with your girlfriend about Senzo Meyiwa and that your father paid some money over to the police so that the case should not go on. Do you have any comment on that? He also says that he also heard that your father paid money to the police for the case not to proceed. So, in other words, they're accusing Sibiya's father from Mahlabatini of funding this whole mess, in my opinion. Am I wrong to say that?
Yeah, they are.
And another point is that this girlfriend story situation, we heard it around the time when they got arrested. Do you remember?
Yes.
That there was a girlfriend who knew that he had confessed to her that he was involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa, and then the girlfriend Gwatiwani, he wanted to speak. They created an impression like this girlfriend was going to turn state witness. I don't know how many of you remember that whole story that was going on around the time when they got arrested.
I remember it too.
Well, Sibiya said, I said it as the prosecutor was reading to me that Simpiwe had stated. I told him that I did not know Simpiwe and there was never been a time where my father paid money to the police for a case to not continue. There's no girlfriend I fought with and there's no girlfriend who has knowledge about Senzo's death. In 2020, I was residing in Tembisa. In 2019, when I was arrested, I was staying in Tembisa. I did not have a girlfriend who stayed in Vosloorus. I do not have a girlfriend that stays in Vosloorus. Then Mnisi then said, with this question, I should not be construed to validate anything, the truthfulness or otherwise of the information that was read into the record. Under cross-examination, it was put to you that Brigadier Kininda noted what was happening as he spoke to you, the reading of your rights, the warnings that he gave you, all those things that the state alleges that Brigadier Kininda did. Did Brigadier Kininda invite you as confirmation of the meeting that he had with you to come and sign on his diary, that of which as a confirmation that he did with you? Sibiya said no. Then Kininda never wrote anything down, he said, when he was with him. Kininda had created that impression that that diary of his was supposed to replace a statement that he was supposed to have done when he was interrogating Sibiya for the first time outside the Vosloorus police station. The police station was just there, but he didn't want to go inside and do a formal interview. He wanted a confession, in my opinion. So Mnisi then said in cross-examination, it was also put to you that the arrest in 2019 by policeman Baloyi never happened. Baloyi said it is not correct that he objected, Advocate Baloyi, to this. He said it's not correct. That is not what they put to the witness. But I remember there was this thing of theirs where they were saying that this arrest in 2019 did not happen. Mgomezulu had to work very hard to have it placed on record that that was an actual arrest. They didn't want to state it as an arrest, the state. At some point, they even created an impression that Muzi was lying.
Yes.
So Baloyi said that it is not correct. That is not what they put to the witness. What they had an issue with is what Mr. Sibiya said happened when he was taken to COURRT. So now, Mnisi, towards the end, after he was done with Mr. Sibiya, said some of the things they will address them at a later stage. That is also another thing that he needs to look for in the record, where the state actually was denying Sibiya of the fact that this arrest actually took place. Mnisi said that he did not understand the basis of their objection, but he would then assume that they mean that the arrest actually happened. But he said the record is there. It's not for them to explain to counsel what happened. They must cross-examine on the basis of what is on the record and what took place. Mnisi said that this issue of Buthelezi brothers, you got confronted with as early as 2019, which to me was very surprising and shocking at the same time, that they mentioned the Buthelezi brothers to Sibiya in 2019 when they first arrested him. Sibiya said
Why
yes.
are you surprised? There has
I'm
been
shocked.
that theory, in my opinion, that this is something that has been happening.
It's a wow for me. I'm like, this is the first time they arrested him.
It's
And then they bring up the Buthelezi brothers.
They called him Untanzi Buthelezi.
They call Ntanzi Buthelezi. Then Mnisi said, when you were arrested in 2020, you also confronted about this issue of Buthelezi brothers. Sibia said yes, they told him about it. And Mnisi then said, and this information you are saying has always been introduced to you by the police. They've always been asking you what you knew about the Buthelezi brothers. Well, Sibia said yes, and Mnisi then said, against that background, the statements that were allegedly made by you that were read into record by the state, where the Buthelezi brothers are also mentioned. Against the background of the names of the Buthelezi brothers were first introduced to you in 2019 when you were arrested in 2020. The police confronted you about the knowledge of the Buthelezi brothers, and subsequent to that, there are statements that are read before court that are coming from the state wherein the Buthelezi brothers are mentioned. What is your comment? And Sibia said, what I can state is the police are the ones who have knowledge about the Buthelezi people, because the police wanted to connect the Buthelezi brothers to this incident of Senzo. You have been consistently telling the court that there's nothing you said that came from your mouth that is contained in those statements. Is that not so? Asking Nisi there. And Sibia said, there is nothing. So Baloi said that they checked their notes and they cannot find any reference that Mr. Sibia mentioned the Buthelezi brothers during his arrest in 2019, or that he was questioned about the Buthelezi brothers in 2019. So Mnisi turned to Sibia completely.
I'm going to have to hold you right there. Mzansi, hello.
Sanibona.
Yeah, what's up?
Yebo.
Mr. Amuyapin.
Siyaphila njani mfowethu?
Hayi siyaphila sisemeli uyaphila.
Ngiyaphila. Ngene endabeni.
Hayi ngizoshaya nje ngo2 seconds umfocus biya lo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uma kuthiwa uNkulunkulu usebenza emfihlakalweni sokuthi into nje. Ake sihlele before kufike uMr X-ray.
Yeah.
Umfoka amashomzilikazi kaMashoba. Kukhona into eshiwo ilawyer sisi angazi ngambiza ngegama uShamila ebuzwe eParliament ngendaba yecala kaSenzo.
Yeah.
Wathi this is a mess kodwa wabe sebuye esho kungasizona iqiniso wathi it was impesa bha amaphoyisa agcina ihlukana imbonalo azabophisa. Bazama ukuyilamula le mess baze bafuna iprosecutor kuphi balisusa kuphi ke right ke ukushilo lokho noma sikwazi esikwazi. Kodwa siyakubonga ukuthi akuveze lokho ukuthi it was messed up by amaphoyisa. Oqala lokho. Okwesibili before kufika ubabuzungu enkantolo. Khona into yasho usibiya lapha sayeqa sangayi inawo ukuthi wayisho ukuthini bayibuzwa lapha naye kulento yeParliament ngento kaMeyiwa. Uthi safika lapha indlu iklini kunento ecrucial ayisho wathi there was no sport or anything. Right?
Yeah, I remember that. That is Sibia who said it. Mthetho.
It was Mthetho.
Sibia, yeah.
Sibia who said that. Who talked about this sport.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, what if there was no sport, there was no blood, there was nothing. Okay. Asibuye ke eqaleni. Mina bengazi ukuthi noma iqiniso lingavela le judge liyakwazi ukujika iqiniso lenze into ayithandayo ngabagweba labafana iqiniso sesila. Ngani? Ngoba ube rely kwi DNA evidence ne ballistic. Uzokhumbula ukuthi umngomezulu esho ukuthi they were cooking all of them, they manufacturing day in and out. Wabuza umbuzo what even mangena uma ngena wengakabuyi uzokhefa examine. What even mangena is cooking wathi umngomezulu all of them.
Yeah.
Lokho kwanginika isithombe ukuthi ijudge isenzola laphe kwayo nani.
Yeah.
Asibongeke ngoba kulokhuzana uzungu sevelile wayisho.
Yeah.
Ubaloyi angaqale atatazela object into engenasidinga ama notes nani ngoba kuseza statement kababuzungu asenza la eNewcastle lapho angazi uyojini konjani.
Yeah.
Ngamafishane nje ngithi siyabonga ukuthi unsoliyafe ngiyajabula ukuthi kusazoza neballistic ndo yamlungu azophikisa le imfishi kamangena le judge selime ngayo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bese sibona ukuthi obese usekela lomkhumbi ewubhekisa. Okubhlungu kakhulu. Engufonelayo sibonga babuzungu mayengaqeda ubufakazi bakhe ngoba into eyenza iphoyisa-ke manje lathi akawulanda ama-notes ekhaya.
Yeah.
Kanti khona ababekhulume ngale singesikwazi ukukhuluma ukuzofaka i-channel enkingeni. Uma ukhumbula walabuya labuza lagcizelela ijaji athi go to KZN buza uZungu. Ukuye KZN kwangesikho ukuyofuna ama-notes. Babazi ukuthi uZungu uma esekhona ngelinye ilanga uyoyiphikisa leya nto kokunye azayifikile yena enkantolo.
Yebo.
Angibambe lapho ngingaze ngimoshe kakhulu kodwa nje siyabonga ukuthi iqiniso liyaqala liyavela. Ujaji usengakwenza akakuthandayo kodwa siyobe silazi iqiniso njengomphakathi.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Angehlele ngezandla.
Asibonge. Emela uthi mhlawumbe uzokhona ukum-interpreter. Yes, thank you.
Oh, interpreting.
Yeah, it's basically a long story.
Guys,
he just looked back from the conversation of Usbiya, the NDPP.
Yes, what they said.
When he said there was no blood, there was no sport there. In a sense, saying that, talking about the things that they claimed they found there, which is the blood. Apparently, it was there, not much of it, and there was a sporty that was used for DNA. But he said that there was nothing of such.
Yes, he said there was no blood.
And that person was never called. That person was never called. That person with that evidence, he was never called. Right? And then he also touched a bit on the judge, how biasness, in a sense, whether this comes in, he can still find a way of changing. And what the judge is actually relying on was ballistic and the so-called DNA, which crumbled. So now it was a ballistic.
With ballistic.
That's what the judge was relying on. So he didn't care about anything. That's why he was even emphasizing, asking when Mngomezulu said there's cooking happening. He said, even Mangena, talking about science. Science does not lie. So he was relying on science. He wanted to take these people down through science. Unfortunately, what now is emanating, it puts this case in jeopardy. I'll tell you, more special when it comes to ABSALOM. And I'm happy that they fast forwarded the calling of ABSALOM ZUNGU, because what this entails, but we will find, we will discuss that once we reach that part.
So Mnisi turned to Sibiya and he said to him that when you got arrested in 2019, what was the content of the interrogation that was done to you by the police? Sibiya said that when he was arrested, the police in 2019, he was taken to COURRT and the police interrogated him with regards to the death of Senzo. They said that he killed Senzo with the Buthelezi brothers. And then Mnisi asked him, when that interrogation happened, you also got assaulted. And Sibiya said he was being assaulted and telling them that he knew nothing about Senzo's death. Now he went to the evidence of Mr. Hadebe and he said Mr. Hadebe told this court that after the conclusion of the pointing out of the scene and all points, the notes were read to the person who pointed out and they were interpreted once again. Now these notes were made at the time which you were pointing out. He was busy making notes. Now you have been there here and throughout the trial you've heard the testimony of Mr. Hadebe and he asked if he was aware of any notes that were introduced by the state through Mr. Hadebe relating to what had just been read in court, and Sibiya said no. And Baloyi said that the re-examination must be based on correct facts. He said that he referred to the relevant passage from yesterday where they referred to the notes, and he said it's an incorrect proposition as to whether the accused was aware of the notes that were introduced by the state through Hadebe, and he said that that cannot be correct. While Mnisi said that this document was read into a record by Mr. Hadebe, and this is what he told the court, that after conclusion of pointing out of the scene or points, the notes were read to the person who did the pointing out and they were interpreted. Now the question is, Mr. Sibiya, are you aware of any notes that were placed on record as exhibits? And his answer was a no. So where is the wrong here? And Baloyi said that counsel introduced the qualification that was made during the pointing out. That is not what was put to Mr. Sibiya when they made the objection. This objection honestly didn't make sense. It was insane. I couldn't comprehend. I didn't know the context. I don't know what is going on. So Mnisi then said, as Hadebe did not reveal the notes in court, it's because they did not exist. He never wrote anything down. He would instruct me to point down and then they would take a picture of me. It was captured by the other person. So Mnisi then said, would you say that Mr. Hadebe took the court to his confidence about what he wrote there in your absence in these notes? And Baloi objected, saying that he does not know whether the opinion of this witness is relevant. The person being trialed, the opinion is not relevant. He said an opinion is being elicited from a witness which he submits is irrelevant as a matter of argument.
Shouldn't he have said maybe his opinion might be biased if there was such an objection like that?
It is supposed to be biased. He's defending himself. But he must have opinions.
Relevant. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, a person is testifying.
Yes.
That means it's relevant.
Yes, he's relevant. It's his evidence. He's the one who's on trial. So I think he lost out also on this objection. Well, Sibia said that Hadebe was not telling the truth because what he claims to have done, he never did it. Just like on the 5th of May, he said he read it out to him, but he never did that. Mnisi went through some of the things that Hadebe had said that he did, while he said that he noted down correctly what was pointed out to Mr. Sibia. But the last item on the agenda, where Mr. Hadebe noted that the time at which Sibia returned from the scene was exactly 1:30 midday, and he also stated the kilometer reading. Well, Nisi read in the record there, and it said preceding notes had been compiled by me in the presence of the said person during the interview and pointing out of the scene or scenes. And the place was Alberton. The date was the 5th of June 2020. The time was 14:20. This is 20 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. So Mnisi now went to the Alberton OB entry, while the time that was recorded on the Alberton OB entry was 16 minutes past 2. So it set suspect back from pointing out. So correctly received, free from injuries. That's what it said. The next entry, the time was 14:25. Suspect transferred to Valeria police station.
Yeah.
So Mnisi then said, now Mr. Hadebe in this form says 14:20, you were still with him. 14:16, you were back.
After he booked him in.
After he was booked in. So does it mean he followed him to his cell or what? Because he was saying that whole process of him asking him happened in his container before the police went and booked him in to take him back to Valeria police station.
It's high school it's
rookie mistakes
that they are doing. Shows that nothing of such could have happened.
Well, Nisi asked Sibia for comments on these discrepancies, and Sibia said yes, it shows that Hadebe, whatever he wrote there or what he testified to in court, he spoke lies, because on the OB entry it's written that I was already taken away from him, but he says he was still with him at 14:20. But yeah, it's written that he went back to the Alberton police station at 14:16. So yes. And the weird thing about this whole thing is that when at the police station, the police officer takes down the suspect, they book them in, they usually have a time with them. They can't get the time wrong, in my opinion, because their job relies on that. Their job is to write down the right time. So provided that there's another entry that went in at 2:25, where they were noting that they are booking him out and they're taking him back to Valeria police station in Pretoria, the chances are the time that is correct is the one at CSC.
Right, let's press the like button, guys, please. It's 586 people who are here. Let us press the like button. Thank you. Continue, Amy.
Well, Sibia said this is to show that Hadebe was not writing what was happening when he was with me. He was writing whatever he was writing at his own time. Nisi then said that OB entry of 14:16 is not an entry that was made by Hadebe himself. It's an entry that was made by members from the CSC. So in other words, the CSC member, when he made this entry, he looked at this time and said it's 14:16. And he said, I'm I'm asking this entry, but Hadebe in this form says that 1420 you were still with him, and in other words, the member could have written 1416 when you were not with him physically. That concluded Sibia's re-examination, and Baloi said that he's raising an objection regarding the questioning of the accused in connection with the Buthelezi brothers. That Buthelezi brothers situation, the fact that Muzi is saying that they asked him about the Buthelezi brothers back in 2019, it still bothered him, and he placed on record relevant pages the proceedings of 13th of October 2025. He said from line 4 until line 9, and then he sat down. Oh my God, this absolutely cracked me up. He just said from line 4 until line 9, and then he sat down. I was waiting for him to read what it said. He didn't even read it. It's the judge who actually encouraged him and said, please put it on record. Sibia said that they asked him as to what it is that he knows about the death of Senzo, and he said, I don't know anything. They then said to him, you killed Senzo Meyiwa. He then replied and said, I never killed Senzo Meyiwa. They then said, if I did not kill Senzo Meyiwa, what is it that made me move from Force Loras? And then I said the reason I moved from Force Loras was that I ran out of employment. Okay, so still Baloi doesn't have to pretend like he asked Sibia about what the police actually were interrogating him on, every single question that he could remember. He never did that. So I don't understand why now he wants to do this thing of his where he just take a one-liner and act like that's the only thing that happened on that occasion, when he never asked or perused what could have possibly happened that is more that he hasn't shared yet. He never really did that. So Mnisi said that he will check the record and come and update the system. So now we were introduced to Mr. X. X for X-ray. Ntate, Baba, ABSALOM, Ntlantlesi, Zungu. What a time. So Mnisi asked if the judge had any clarity questions for Mr. Sibia before Mr. Zungu could take the stand. It's a norm. It's a norm for the judge. He usually did it with the state witnesses just before they get off. He's like, no, clarity seeking questions. No, he doesn't have any for Mr. Sibia. Okay, none whatsoever. Zilch. He even acted shocked and said he doesn't understand what Mr. Mnisi is asking him. The judge said he did not have any issue to raise in re-examination. So after the short adjournment, Mr. X entered the building and took the oath. Mnisi introduced himself to him, and he said that the day that they have always been looking forward to had just arrived. Remember the first time, he said, when we met at some consultation many weeks ago, and Zungu said yes, and Mnisi asked him to feel free. COURT is the freest place that you will ever be. He likes saying that, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. So Mnisi then said, is it correct that you are originally from KZN? And Zungu said, yes, I'm from there. And Mnisi then said, the reason why you have been requested to come and assist the court is because your name has been mentioned in the course of this trial. Not only once, twice, but on several occasions. Your name has been mentioned by Brigadier Gininda and Constable Sizwe Zungu. I realize that Constable Sizwe Zungu and yourself are sharing the same surname. Do you perhaps know him? Can you explain to this court how you know him? And Zungu said, he's my child. Even though he stayed at his mother's home, I raised him in his mother's home. Growing up, he grew, and then he was done at school. He started looking for employment. He told me that he had gotten an opportunity to receive training at the police academy. I was grateful that he got an opportunity to get employment in government. He returned and informed me that he was now based here, meaning that he had completed his training, and the rule of being a police officer required a driving license. So Mr. Zungu said he paid for him to go get his license, and he also paid for other needs that he had at the time. What a good father though, hey? He says such a blessing to him, in my opinion. So Mr. Zungu said that another thing that disturbed him about his son is that after he was hired and was working, he liked to do inappropriate things back at home, but they talked about it and he tried to reprimand him. Baloi objected and said it's character evidence. Maybe he instigates fights. That's an opinion. Already I have a character of what kind of a son Sizwe Zungu is. But I don't know. What do you think?
Like someone who's got kids?
No. He doesn't sound like someone who has kids.
I think in my thinking.
Your mic is off.
In my thinking, I think it probably has to do with something like that.
You think he has kids?
No. I think you're right. He doesn't have kids.
He doesn't sound like he has responsibilities, is what I'm trying to say. Like he sounds like he doesn't care, man. Well, Baloy objected and said it's character evidence, it's irrelevant and inadmissible. Well, Mnisi said, thank you, Mr. Zungu. We know that you might have a history with him, but it's suffice to say that you know him and he's your son. Well, Zungu said the message he can state about him is that he started working and then he was inside. He showed him that he came to me without knowing. He didn't let me know that he was going to come. So he was already building up to this thing of stating that Zungu, his son, would come unannounced quite a lot. He would always surprise him with visits without calling him or letting him know in advance that he was coming. So Obaba Zungu had a lot on his chest. Honestly, it just felt like
he
if he
still
could
has
get
a lot in his chest. It's fine. I think eventually he will be allowed to be to do what. But for now, I think Mnisi is doing well. Difficult to deal with old men. This is Indodena's team, Bumfetu. Can you imagine how strong of a character he is? That's why in that court, he told the judge was trying. Let us press the like button. I'm worried about the likes, guys, because I see the numbers, but we don't see the likes. Unless
guys,
you don't like what we're saying, we will finish and then we will just keep quiet. Press the like button.
Please press the like button if you are still here with us.
Yeah, so again, it is important to note that this man was never a visitor to this house. He started being a visitor around the time when Gininde was part of the case. One is, it's important. He never visited that place. That's what the man is emphasizing on.
Yes.
He didn't know where he stayed.
No.
He knew where he worked by the word of mouth, but he didn't know where his father resided. And
look at how his evidence is not deterring away from what he said over 2 months ago. It's not even 2 months ago, it's 3 months ago now in the interview. Now it's just an adding on to perhaps what he couldn't say in 20 minutes.
Yes.
So Mnisi then said, Mr. Zungu, I know we will come to that, but at least give me the opportunity to lead you. Well, Zungu said, okay. And Mnisi said, your name was mentioned by Sizwe Zungu and Brigadier Gininde. It was in the context of this trial. Now, it's normal practice that before you proceed, I should ask that now you're appearing here in court and the accused are also appearing. If you know any of them, and if you know them, how do you know them? Well, Zungu pointed to Sibia and said that he is his neighbor. And Tanzi is born of his cousin. So he's his cousin's child. And he lives like 10 minutes away from them.
Yeah.
So his house and his house 10 minutes far apart.
Yeah.
So Zungu said that he did not know the rest of the accused, but it can be that they know him since they played soccer and they would know him from there. And since they are a community, maybe they would be attending each other's events and gatherings, you know.
Yes.
So he said one of them might recognize him. So Mnisi said your name came from Gininde, who said your son told him or told them that you have information that one or two of the accused have knowledge about the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. Zungu said, I understand what Gininde said, but I do not accept it because even when that Gininde, before he could finish, Nisi stopped him and said, which is that he came to assist this court to clarify that you have referred to as something that you don't agree with. The one you said is Gininde. Well, he said that in the course of our consultation, you mentioned something about a meeting you had with your son in Emelo. Well, Zungu said he would not say it was a meeting. Upon his arrival, it took that he came to visit him as his father. That's what he thought. And then Nisi said, can you still recall the year or month that it happened? Zungu said, I may not remember the month, but I know the days he arrived. It was around 2017, but mostly 2018. And you have to note that 2018...
Moses said they met this man, around 2017? For the first time.
Well, he said, you can explain to the court what happened. Well, Zungu said, I was employed at a mine, but my son had never come to visit me there before. He never came to my place of work. He only started to come during those times. He would come unannounced at night without calling. He did it for days and months. And Mnisi said, how did he know where you were working? And Zungu said he knew where I was working, but did not know where I was staying. Well, Mnisi said, yes, but would you know how he came to know where you were working? Well, Zungu said I would mention it while talking to him. So he knew where I was working. So it shows that they had a relationship even prior these meetings, because he says Zungu knew where he was working
through the word
because
of mouth,
he told him, yes. And then Nisi told Zungu to elaborate, and he said that on those days he would arrive, and he said, I took it that he came because I was his father. He arrived on a particular day when I was at work and called me, and he explained that he was renting where he was staying, and he asked him where he was. He said that he was calling from Emelo. He said, I took issue with him arriving unannounced and without calling first, and why he came at night. He then said I would hang up and call others who know where I stayed. I made a call to the son of my cousin, who is a relative of the accused, Mbegiseni. Mbegiseni is Ntanzi's brother. They share a father. He says that he was unemployed and still looking for a job. He also knows where he hid his keys. So he said that he would leave his house keys somewhere in a hidden place so that Mbegizeli could come and open and get something to eat.
This is a good man.
Yeah.
Who didn't have any bad blood with these guys.
Yes.
By the looks of things.
Even
Inganega cousin work. He's fine with them because he was staying with the brother of Ndans.
Yes, even with Sibia described him as a man whom they knew growing up. They used to see. He said he even ran a daycare. They went to that daycare. Do you remember that part of testimony? So he's known as a respected person in that community. So he said, I then called someone else and made a request to provide Mbegiseni with money to travel to town. From there, I instructed Mbegiseni to go get money and head to town. I contacted Sizwe and informed him that Mbegiseni was on his way to fetch him. I exchanged their numbers with them. I informed them where one would wait for the other. I told one about the spa that he would wait there where they buy groceries, and told the other one where to go to get the other one. Indeed, they found each other. Mbegiseni then took him home and opened for him. I found him home where he knocked off, and then he started working at 2 o'clock and knocked off at 10 o'clock. Another thing that they can ask Absalom for, when did Zungu start working at the police? When did he attend his training? It's very important to know and establish that as well.
Why?
Because here I'm getting a sense that he wasn't driving a car when he came and Mbegiseni went and fetched him. He was using foot or traveling using public transport, or maybe he got a lift asaz. But that's the sense that I'm getting here, because he had to be fetched, then they went together, and then he spent the night, and whenever he would visit his father, he would spend the night.
Let's say he wasn't driving a car, he didn't have a car. What would your argument be?
That's why I want to know.
I think he didn't have a car actually.
When did he start his training? And when did he get employed, if he knows?
Okay, let's say there is that information. What are we going to do with it?
Is he going to help us with the 2014 timeline?
2014.
Zungu said he was a police officer working in 2014.
Oh, no, yeah, you've got a point there. That's what I wanted to hear. The point is that you want to align it with 2014 when he says he was a policeman.
No, I want to know if he was indeed a policeman.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you. That's the question is for that. That makes sense.
He said that I refunded the money that Mbekiseni used, and he said we then spoke at night about family matters, although I was angry as to why he did not call before coming. But then I slept. Zungu said how we then got to Sbia's name. It is the first name that he mentioned to me. The following day while I was cooking and he was laying in bed, Nisi then asked him who is Sbia, and Zungu said Muzi. He even pointed at him and said he pointed to accused number 1.
Yeah.
He said he was sitting on the bed, Umtanake, his son, holding a phone, and then he asked if he knew this person. He held the phone like this, okay, and he asked, do you know this person? He said, I came closer to see who it was. The picture was crystal clear. And he said that his first comment was about how well dressed the gentleman on that picture was. He then criticized his compliments. Zungu was not happy that he's
that would
praising.
mean right there, this man already had a mission. I think it's not an issue of jealousy at this point. It's an issue of a mission. That
This
he
is my
needed
target.
to put his fathers to that mind of, we want this man.
This is a target.
He is a target.
So Mnisi then says, so he was jealous. Zungu said, I asked if the person depicted in the picture gave permission for him to take a picture. He said it was a stolen picture. In this picture, he was seated in a bench alone. And he said, I then told Sizwe that he bought a phone for communication and not for taking of people's pictures without talking to them. And Mdisi asked him, were you able to identify who that was? And Zungu said, yes. Who was it? And Zungu said it was Muzisbia. There's an age gap between myself and him, so he refers to me as Mkulu. It took me time to recall who he was, but I told him he was from Sbia's. And even though I no longer knew his name as to who he is, because they are much younger than us, they are children compared to our peers. And he said, when I was able to remember the name, I then told him, I informed him that it was dangerous to take a picture of a person without asking them. I told him that it was dangerous because if someone would be arrested, they would then say, but here, this is your picture. And when finding this picture, a person gets arrested. So when finding this picture, they would say that he's guilty because of the photo. He said, I then left it at that. In the evening, he said he was going around looking for people that killed Meyiwa. He said his response was, you came all the way from Gauteng. We all heard that on the radio that Meyiwa was killed, but you look for people who killed Meyiwa where I stay.
Funala. Let's press the like button, guys. Please, we're pushing for 400. Press the like button.
You look for people that killed me where I stay. He said he took it lightly and he laughed and they left it at that. They discussed something else and then he left. He said, I left something out. And then he retracted and said it was for the first time that he came to where I was staying. He then said he left Gauteng very late and realized it would be late for him to reach Newcastle. That is why he saw it fit to come sleep over where he was staying. But then what happened after that was that he was, guarding that he would actually go to Newcastle. So he did not tell him to pass his greetings to the little ones since he was going.
Tell him.
Or he did tell them to pass his greetings to the little ones
he
since he
later
was
find
going
out
to
that-
Newcastle. But what happened thereafter is that he took his bags and went to Gauteng instead. So he was away for some time and other people were now used to him. He again arrived at night unannounced without phoning. He went to
It's like someone was dropping him.
in the middle of the night. He would go to and visit in the morning, and he said he was respectful and never actually drank in front of him or in his presence, even though he did see that he wanted something to drink. After he came back from wherever he would be divulging in diluted waters, he then asked him to assist them in testifying for them. Okay, so Zungu asked his father, Constable Zungu asked his father to assist them by testifying.
Yeah.
He said, I asked, and who is it that you wanted me to testify for? He said it was him and Gininda. He asked, what was it about? He said, I further asked. He said he had discussed with Gininda.
Wait, Tumelo is asking, why can Gininda say Babu Zungu is from Tembisa? Because Sizwe Zungu is from Tembisa.
That's why.
Father, son, therefore from same place.
House, yes.
Same house or something like that.
He said that he discussed it with Gininda and that he would make it difficult. And he said it wouldn't be a difficult thing to do. He would just need to change his surname. He said that he talked about it with Gininda. I can just change and say that I am Kumalo, but we ended up having an argument. I told him that I had reprimanded him about this Gininda. He's telling me about a Gininda that I do not know. He apologized and then left again. He wouldn't stay away for a good 2 or 3 days. He said he would come ever so often. He would come today and leave tomorrow. He left for Johannesburg and he said he reprimanded him and said, you do not know this Gininda. Stop it. I told him to stay away from this Gininda because he did not know this Gininda. I told him that he would get into trouble.
Clearly he didn't stay away from Gininda.
Mm-hmm. And when he was in Gauteng,
he's not
called.
even the first person to reprimand him. Even the likes of Romakubo.
They tried. Yes, they tried. He said, I will tell the truth about what I said to him. He asked if I would be able to assist them with the request they made. I was busy working and I said it's okay. What made me say okay was that I wanted to find out if Gininda said this to him. So one particular day, he says, Gininda called and said, how are you, Mzilikazi Mashobani? He says, I then informed him that he had reached a wrong number. I am not Mzilikazi Mashobani. And then Nisi said, so what is the connection of Mzilikazi Mashobani and the Kumalo?
But the choice of surname also. Why Kumalo? This thing happens in Kumalo's house. Why Kumalo? You know, I was thinking why they chose Kumalo.
Maybe they wanted to play him out as the uncle.
Maybe.
Well, Zungu said it is a clan name, and Mnisi then said to him, so Gininda was calling you by the surname that you were asked to adopt as your new surname. Zungu said yes. Mnisi asked him if he could hear English, and Zungu said only a little bit. And Mnisi asked him to proceed to the conversation with Gininda. He said he informed him that he is Zungu, and asked if he knew a police officer by the name of Caesar Zungu. He told him that's his son. He was then okay. He said, we will talk and I will see Caesar. He did not know Gininda at the time, and he was calling him.
I can't believe you said that. Listen to what Tobekade is saying to you.
What is Tobekade
saying? I sense a non-existing father-son relationship, so I think the son is just bitter, not necessarily cruel. Why? Well, a bitter kid would actually put you into this for a promotion. After you paid for their license and help them wherever you can financially, yes, maybe you might not have been there because you are a man of his temple and you probably are not dating the mother anymore.
Besides his temple, he's working in the mine. So if he's going to say his father was absent, he's absent pretty much from every child, in my opinion.
Exactly.
He's working in a mine, he's renting there. So if he's absent for every child.
You can't excuse this, man, Tobekade. I am trying to see your angle. You cannot excuse greedy, man. Greedy is greedy.
Abana, sometimes in life you must just accept ukuthi kukhona abantu abakhohlakele.
Exactly. You will psychoanalyze these people wherever you want to however you want to psychoanalyze them. People are greedy outside here.
Yeah, sometimes you must just make peace with the fact that evil is evil, and
because you end up opening doors for wrong people just because you psychoanalyze them. You think, oh, I understand, this is the problem.
There are some people that are beyond saving. They are gone. Their conscience is gone.
Wanting your father feature in seeing your father, using your father, almost wanting to kill your father.
Not even thinking about the other people that still need
even
him.
Your mother at home, because what about the mother who probably is in Newcastle as we speak,
putting her life in danger,
the other family,
her life in danger, the other family also. Like, if you are greedy, you're greedy. If you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist. There's nothing we can do to save you. You're gone. Gone.
It's greediness, man.
Consumed by the things of the world. There's nothing you can do to save some people, unfortunately. You can try and psychoanalyze, but you can't save them. You can't save them from themselves. Well, he says he did not know Gininda at the time. He was calling them, and that's where he left off. And you can even tell that the father paid for the license. When he communicated a need,
the
father came through.
The guy came back to talk to the father when he got the job. That doesn't sound like a person who didn't have a relationship with the father. He was reporting everything that was happening, asking for help where he needed help.
So,
yeah, but okay, we hear that. Now, what about Bondan's again? Arresting Bondan's, is that also an issue of father?
Of maybe not having friends. We're living in an era of psychoanalyzing. Psychoanalyzer. He already had a picture of Smear. What does that tell you about the personality?
A neighbor. What has a neighbor done? A neighbor to one of his fathers.
Maybe his father was more of a father than he was. Maybe that's how he feels.
Bontuli, because he doesn't know Bontuli.
Guys, I don't know what is going on with Constable ZUNGU, but a lot is going on there. A lot is going on. Okay, so after 2 weeks, he said that his son arrived, and Mnisi then asked him, the person that called you Mziliga Shobani was Gininda, and Zungu said yes. And Mnisi said, how did you know it was Gininda? Well, Zungu said that I heard it from my son speaking about Gininda. And then Mnisi said, okay, continue. And he said that his son then arrived and he asked him if he was still employed. And he laughed it off and said, yes, he was still employed, but still busy with the Meyiwa matter. He said he was there, sent by Gininda, and asked me to check when Tuli's girlfriend was staying. He said, Tuli's accused number 5. Sebefuna ne girlfriend ka accused number 5 kimanje. He said, I then
we
said...
We had that testimony. There was a testimony of such.
Yes. I think it was Gininda who gave it.
Yeah, there was such a testimony.
He said, I then said, what are you going to do about this girl? He said they were looking for something related to the Meyiwa matter. He said, I told him, listen here, Sizwe, I'm not your peer. I had already asked him which Ntuli he had said it was. Ngani. I told him I did not know him, let alone the lady. Even if I were to meet him in the street, I don't know him. Even that lady you're talking of, I don't know her. Why don't you go and look for her yourselves? I would be lying if I said he responded. He then left without saying anything. Even if I knew the person, I wouldn't have given him, because I did not know what he was going to do to that person. So after a while, people would ask who he was, where he was living, right? Because he would visit often. He said, I would freely tell them that he was a police officer. He said what bothered him was that he would come and tell me that he was looking for Meyiwa's killers. He was then quiet with bringing me stuff like this for some time. He did state that it had been a while as he was recalling these events. So what then happened was that he said he was coming and Gininda wanted to come and see him or see Ubabu Zungu. So in the morning, he said that his son arrived and he was coming from Gauteng without me seeing him arrive. He said that Gininda would like to see me. I asked him where he was. He said that he was in the car. He said the way he rushed to go and see Gininda, he even forgot to close the doors of his house.
King Gininda.
He said that when I got there, I was asked to get into the car and we would drive to town. He said we left. Now what pained me was what the car did. It did not go to town as promised. Mm-hmm. He said he's familiar with the route that leads to Bethal and Johannesburg.
Yeah.
So he says that Mr. Mnisi then asked him, okay, Mr. Zungu, how many vehicles did you see? Zungu said there was one car, a 4x4. And Mnisi said, when you got into the car, were there any other people? Zungu said it was the driver, the one called Gininda, that my son pointed out, and another one he did not know, then myself. And then when they passed a particular township, the car stopped, then another person got into the car. And Mnisi asked him, and what happened to your son? Zungu said he was there. Mnisi asked him, was it the first time that you came across Gininda? Zungu said it was the first time. I did not know him. Nisi said, how did you know that that specific person was Gininda amongst those people that were inside the vehicle? And Zungu said, my son told me. He said, this is Gininda. He did point at him and he said he's the one sitting on the side. Nisi then asked him, did Gininda react or say anything? Zungu said he did not say anything. My son only told me that that was Gininda.
Yeah, let's press the like button, guys. Please, let's press the like button. We are chasing 400. Yes, 636 people are here. Please press the like button. You know what? There is no AVL that is coming to us. Forget. That is in state sense. Right. What the state could have done, looking at the option the states could have taken.
Yes.
Because of this evidence of ABSALOM Zungu before he even arrived, they could have, because the state is obliged. I mean, the defense could have done. The state is obliged to call the material witness. Yes. This was a material witness
for them,
they never called him. This whole case is actually at the back of this man.
Yes,
but they never called him, and he's asking a correct question why he was not called. Now, they failed to do that.
They failed. They didn't want to do it. Not even they failed. They didn't want to do it. I didn't.
The statement of this man was central. Now, this amounts to serious irregularities and adverse interferences. That could be argued. In S versus Tisheria, and then S versus Van Stuyzen. Van Stuyzen. They could have used that. But I think Mnis was afraid.
Afraid of what?
Where in Tishera, the failure of the states to call an available and material witness may justify the interference that the evidence would have been unfavorable to the prosecution. So if the witness was the main witness and is available but not called, the court may draw an adverse inference against the state. But Nis was afraid that if we don't do that, if we don't call this witness ourselves, we are in trouble. Because the judge doesn't seem partial, in my opinion. So they called the witness.
They are left with no
now
choice.
They went for the state does not call the witness, and the defense knows the witness denies the statements, the defense should then not rely on that statement either. But they are afraid of doing that because this statement could have amounted to hearsay if they didn't do that. But now they've called the statement. However, the defense may call the witness or subpoena the witness to testify for the defense.
Which is what they've
and
done.
Ask a witness a direct question about the alleged statement. If the witness denies it, use that to show that the state's case is fabricated or weak. And that's what Mnisi is currently doing. Now, the case to look at there is S versus Mabuza of 2009. The defense may rely on the absence of the state witness to argue that the prosecution's case is uncorroborated and unsafe.
That's like music to my ears.
So that's what Missy is currently doing right now.
No wonder why you judge Kwatega.
So the problem is that they could have just decided to ignore the person. And looking at how the judge is controlling himself right now, I don't think that would have worked in their favor even if they argued for 2 days about that.
Yeah.
Using those two cases, probably there was going to be a 1940 case that was going to come counter
what they were trying to do. So Zungu continued and he said, I asked where they were taking me. The other one said, we are not going to be told by you. They then continued on the journey. It reached a point where he felt like he was in trouble. He said they stopped the car and told me to go back. There was a sale. I think he was describing the material that is used to cover stuff, especially if you're trying to not get stuff wet. There's a particular thing that you use. I don't know whether to call it a plastic or a mixture between plastic and paper. When he said a sail, that's what he's talking about. It's just that I couldn't think of an appropriate term in English of how to describe it. Yes.
It's that thing that covers the windows of the van of the police, the blue thing.
Yes, Gary raincoat, umbrella type of fabric. And he said it was made to sit with these two, and the one that was picked up along the way and the other one that was seated at the back. He said the ones that he was seated with told him, what made you want to admit something and then deny it? You know, as if they had talked to him prior and had a conversation with him before. He said, some of them were saying, you agreed that this must be
through
done.
His sign. They were basically saying, why when ushincha inkulumo suyivumile? Why do you turn on what you... Because he does say that upon his son's persistence, he did agree, okay, wanting to see where the end of this thing. He said he wanted to see Gininda. And he wanted to see this Gininda if he knows what the son is doing. And eventually the Gininda came.
And when the Gininda came, we wanted to see this Gininda. Next thing you know, get into the car. How can you, when now you admit something and then you change your mind? There's a lot that you've done that you're now denying.
You can tell from the statements that the father was not collaborating because the father wouldn't have said Ndanzi's brother in Durban. He doesn't seem fond of Durban, by the way. He wouldn't have said that.
He said they then left with me. I did not have much words to say because I had seen that something was happening to my life. He felt that scared.
Something tantamounting to being threatened.
So he said they traveled and he could not see the rest of the journey because they made him to sit down on the like below on the bottom of the car, so he couldn't see the windows. And he said on that sale, he said he was talking about, then they told him that the one he was seated with at the back, he said to him, take this thing to whoever you want to take it. We will then see where you will work as of today. So Mnisi asked him, what was the meaning of that in your own understanding? Well, Zungu said, I thought they were going to kill me. Ngabona ujaji athi adjournment yazi ngendlela bekahamba ngayo. Going to the chambers or going to his lunch. He looked defeated. But then, after the long adjournment,
I'm sure.
Things were happening.
I'm sure.
I saw that walk. I was like, hey,
they couldn't have
he's usually fast when he walks. You know, but then he was like, hey, it was a slow walk.
Walk of shame. Let's press the like button, guys.
Well, Nisi, after the long adjournment, Nisi asked Ubab Zungu to explain the papers that he had with him as he was testifying. Zungu Senior said he wrote what he knows so that he doesn't forget the dates as to what happened. You know, he said they are his notes, his own personal notes that he wrote for himself to jog his memory about certain points that he needed to talk about or testify on. Well, the judge asked the state, you know, what is the status of a witness who comes with a piece of paper?
He got it like a dog with a bone.
And says what Mr. Zungu Senior is saying. But he said that he was about to rise on that point. Was he? Was he really? I mean, rewind just before the adjournment. Was he really about to rise? Let's be honest. He said normally a witness would refresh his or her memory from a statement and then testify out of his or her memory. And if there are certain aspects like dates or details that witness cannot remember, then the witness will then ask whether he wants to refer to his or her statement. The statement will then be proven and it will be identified. Well, the judge said statement or notes. There's an oral difference between a statement and notes. Like a dog with a bone, Mr. Nanubas is saying. Well, Bello, he said a statement, my lord. Well, the judge said there is a world of difference between a statement and notes, as long as you know that. Bello, he said a witness is not allowed to make notes and testify out of his notes except from his or her statement. He has made a statement, and if the details are required, he can refresh his memory from the statement. So, Nisi is the one. He said he made the notes in Newcastle and his, interviews, were done that way instead. But he kept emphasizing how they were just about to stand up and raise that point when he was sitting down the entire time. And the judge is the one who first brought up these notes, and he looked like, he was the one driving this whole situation, in my opinion. Well, Nisi said the state is making its submission on what would normally happen to state witnesses. The statements of the state witnesses would normally be prepared by police who are investigating the case, and then they would be commissioned, right? And then they would be handed over to the prosecution, and the prosecution would go through those statements and make a view of whether or not they'd be calling the witness. When that witness is being interviewed, they would be here and refer to the witness or refer the witness to that statement, which is what has been happening with state witnesses when they were testifying. And that is from the perspective of a witness that testifies and has been called by the state. This witness has been called by the defense. Subsequent to what the state has alleged against the accused person, he has made his statement. Well, the judge said he has not made his statement. My apologies. Well, the judge said that's not applicable. And he asked Baloyi to get him authorities. He said, are you saying a witness who is testifying for an accused person can use notes when he is inside the witness stand because he is a witness? He looked very upset. He looked very upset, in my opinion. Well, Nisi said, I did not say that.
Yes. They can use the notes.
Can they?
Yes, but
I heard Ramasipili also.
No, they can, but the requirements should be met.
Which
they are, yes, a witness, including the defense witness, may use the notes or prior written statements to refresh their memory. Yes, they can. That is common law.
What are the
The
requirements?
requirements under guided under common law is that the witness must once have had a personal knowledge of the facts recorded on the notes, and then 2, the note must have been made by the witness or checked and confirmed by them when the facts were still fresh in the memory. And then number 3, this is the one Baloyi wanted, and this is where they differed. The note must be produced and be available for inspection by the opposing side, e.g.
That's what
the
he
prosecutor.
wanted. This
And
is
then
what
the
he
authorities that you would quote on that is R versus Richardson of 1946. You would be happy about that. AD 308. And then S versus RATHA of 1979. I'm sure you'll also be proud of that. SA 398A. And then there is S versus Mavuso of 1987. All of them, they date back then during the apartheid time. SA 499A. Yes, indeed, they can. But the only difference is that Absalom, Zungu, Baba Absalom did not trust these people.
Yes.
But yeah, we can't blame that man. Maybe whatever that is protecting him. Everything can be passed through anything these days. And people get sick and all that. For me, I was okay with him refusing.
Well, the judge said that if it wasn't for the notes, because you all said that there are 2 statements, he now said that accused are the ones who accuse Zungu of having 2 statements, one typed and the other one written. He's completely rewriting the record, in my opinion, and he's saying that the defense accused Zungu, of writing notes. He forgot that Zungu is the one who said that he had written notes. And was referencing from them as a lady in Brigadier Kininda's office was typing his statement in 2023. Is that not what he said? Why is the judge having a completely different perspective and story of what happened?
Because he listens to prosecute, to judge and prosecute. He does not listen to analyze and get the truth in the middle.
Well, Ramasipili got up and mentioned what you just mentioned to the authorities there regarding the statement, and the judge finally gave in, He said that that is what he was investigating, because there was an allegation that he made that the statement, the one was written and the other one was typed, and ultimately found out that according to what he was saying, he was sitting and there was a typist and Kininda was there, and he said he used the notes to compile the statement, which was ultimately typed. The judge asked Baloyi if he found that authority, and Baloyi said that the court made the order on the 8th of September 2023. The court said Zungu must give the opportunity, or be given the opportunity, to go home and retrieve all those notes. Not a statement, notes. That's the order you gave. The notes, not a statement, because now he had changed it to be he ordered him to go fetch a statement. No, you said notes. And Advocate Baloyi got up with the record, and the record speaks for itself. And he must also go.
Let the record speak. What is good for, on top of that, the record speaks for itself. What is good for the
geese is good
for
the
gander.
Aha. And he must also go to the safe house on Monday. That was the order that Judge RATHA Mokgotleng had made. Well, he said, I don't know if Mr. Zungu Sr. has got his statement which he made, or he has notes written in his free hand. Well, Baloyi said if it were his statement, he would have laid the basis for the statement. Counsel would have laid the basis for the statement, but even with those notes, no basis has been laid. He said, we're just here now, and he's testifying from the notes. You're not even aware of
There's
the
no
facts.
basis that you lead for notes. Why would you lead basis? You lead there's nothing.
Well, Nisi said we never said he's testifying from
the notes.
Well, this is said, Mr. Zungu, let's try the best that we can to refrain, because you have already heard the tone. The tone. Okay. He said refrain from looking at those notes if you can, but you can also request, because that for your own memory in respect to this case, there's nothing wrong with that. If you can request to refresh your memory from your own notes. And Zungu said that he was pleading because he's older now, and he's no longer as young and quick, to recall stuff. Well, Zungu confirmed that his notes are in his own writing. He got the information from himself, and he was able to recall with regard to this incident in particular.
He was writing all the time these things were happening, which is part of the requirements. He was fresh.
He was refreshing his memory about what had happened, getting himself ready to testify, which is a normal process. And he said no one assured him. He wrote them, and no one told him what to write on those notes. He wrote them on his own. None of the defense counsel even looked at those notes. He said they just listened to what he was saying. So he was narrating to counsel and not showing them the notes. He said the information is exclusively from his experience. While Baloyi objected to the witness, and he said that they should not testify from their own notes. He wanted him to testify from the statement of the 17th of November 2019.
He denies. Doesn't even have his signature.
And if there's a need to supplement the statement, then it should have been done so under oath. He said it's improper to come with notes whose origin is unknown. While Ramosepili said in his respectful submission, the witness can be referred to the statement that he made for the purpose of refreshing their memory. And then he went through all of that, explaining what notes classified as which. Oh, Lord. And then the judge said that just listen to me. When he wants to refresh his memory, his requests from the court, okay, you can proceed. Then Nisi proceeded, and he said, just to draw an analogy, Brigadier Gininda also referred
He
you
never
to the
asked for
notes he had
permission.
in his diary. He said that he wanted to read them into the record, and he was allowed to read the diary entries that he made with his own handwriting into the record, right? Gininda was allowed to do that. We are quick to forget. Then the judge said Gininda is an investigating officer. And then Nisi said there's no difference. He should have put that information in a statement. But he decided, no, let me rely on my diary. He specifically said he made notes in his diary, and the court allowed him to read those notes. Well, the judge said, yeah, because every policeman in South Africa has got a diary.
What does that have to do? Give me an authority on that. Is there any authority on that? I mean, you are always talking about what is good must be good for the
geese. Because even ordinary people have diaries. It's not just policemen. Well, he said a diary can be used for evidential purposes because it can be sanctioned by law. While Baloyi quoted from a book called Him Structural Procedure, and it seems Baloyi wanted ABSALOM to hand over his notes, and Gininda handed over his diary. He was using that to support, and Mnisi said that they were not hiding anything and asked Mr. Zungu to hand over the papers to the state. Well, Babu Zungu said no, if that's the case, then he will just put the papers down. I had the it's not like it's a crime. I'm here to testify. Those notes are not referring to anyone. And Mnisi asked him if he was comfortable to continue without looking at his papers. And Zungu said he will just continue, but tomorrow they shouldn't accuse him. Or if there's something else that comes up, they shouldn't accuse him of anything. He will leave the other information. And he doesn't want, he said he doesn't want what is happening. He said he was tortured by police, and then he comes to court and he's abused in court as well. The judge said, sorry, maybe we're not hearing each other. It's not me who doesn't want, it's the law. I'm doing what the law tells me to do. with a very stern, Well, Zungu said, I was tortured by government police and now I'm being tortured here. Since I was born, I never broke the law. You can even pull my records now. The government police are the ones who put me in this position. That is why I'm saying if it's denied for me to use my notes, I won't argue. Let me leave them and speak whatever I'm asked to and sit down. One day, there will be those who can help me, who can assist me. The judge remained silent.
Karma knows the direction. Don't worry. What goes up must come down.
Nisi said that he could sit down, but the interpreter said that he had been asking him to sit down several times and he didn't want to. So ABSALOM Zungu said they took him to wherever he said that they took him. He was continuing with his story about what happened at that time. Brigadier Gininda took him in a car and drove with him to some field somewhere. He said they placed him in an area. He was made mention to him that the statement was made, but it was not a police station. He said wherever they took him, when they were there, they were telling him that a statement was made. Zungu had expressed that he is disturbed. He said he's not feeling okay. He was continually saying this, putting it on record, that since they are not allowing him to use his notes, he's not okay. He's not comfortable. He's not okay about what just happened. So Zungu said he couldn't explain the area. It was an open house. When they arrived there, they explained to go to Gininda, wanted him to say this and that. That's what they were telling him, And he said that they took Zungu out. He was not there. And while they said that they would be arresting him and Gininda would be writing down that statement. So he's saying that as this incident is happening, Gininda is writing down, and he was in this same room with Gininda. They took Constable Zungu to another room. He said Gininda would go out and say that he's speaking to Zungu, Constable Senzo Zungu, and then come back. So what kept Gininda speaking to him was the issue that he had changed his surname, because Ubab Zungu says, I kept maintaining that I'm Zungu.
So he didn't buy into that thing of Khumalo.
Zungu said they told him to state the name of the arrested accused by name, each one. They mentioned the name of Muzi Ntanzi, and they asked him if he knew them and how he knows them. They asked what he knew about the killing of Senzo Meyiwa and the killers of Senzo Meyiwa. He said there was not much that he was going to say to them because he was looking at the situation that they kept him under. He said that although he was not assaulted, right, but he wasn't feeling comfortable. Zungu said Gininda was writing down. The time came when they now released him and allowed him to leave. Constable Zungu came out of nowhere and they had placed wherever they had placed him. And then he said they then left. On his way back, they did not put him where they took him.
They didn't drop him where they took him.
Yeah, they didn't drop him off where they picked him. He said he came back from there. They dropped him at a much different distance and he had to walk back home.
Shortcuts.
He said what confused him, because he was going to state what he had, was what was said there by Gininda. He said he heard him say Constable Zungu came when he was testifying. Yes, he said he came with him. And he said I would ask him what mode of transport I used and how I went back home. While Zungu said he did not sign anything, Gininda did not ask him to sign, and his response was a no. He left that house without signing.
He did ask him to sign.
He did ask him to sign, and his response was a no. He left that house without signing, and he said that he was never going to sign anything because he doesn't know of a statement that's taken in the field of bushes, not a police station. He's smart.
Isn't the modus of operandi when it comes to road and crashes says I think there was such a thing where someone apparently testified under false profile, isn't it? Yes.
Yes.
So that's why I say there's more to learn from that case. Press the like button.
Senzo Meyiwa once told us about an April that was supposed to go to a magistrate court in Durban, accompanied by Brigadier Gininda, allegedly to go and say he killed Senzo Meyiwa. The magistrate in that case dismissed and said this is nonsense and a waste of my time. Zungu said that they did not even return him straight home. They just put him in an open field. He went back home and his son was not there. He also said that his signature is known in SARS and government institutions and his ID is known. He mentioned again that he was disturbed. He said after the incident, he never met with his son again. That was the last time he came to him. Nisi asked if his son ever told him how he got to be involved in tracking the killers of Senzo. Zungu Senior said that he told him that it's intelligence. He said he is doing intelligence. The reason he was there, he was searching and looking for Senzo's killers. He told his father that he's working for intelligence. Nisi then said, do you have any clue with regard to who could have been involved in the death of Senzo Meyiwa, which could have led to your son to come to you, that you should assist him in finding the perpetrators? Zungu said, no, there's nothing. While Zungu said he asked him why he left the place where he died and came here. Did he die here? He was asking his son that. Well, Zungu said that he was working with Gininda as well. He said that his son told him that they were about to arrest Meyiwa's killers. He said to him that he also was attending meetings in Pretoria and they were having those meetings with this lady of how they were going to make those arrests.
Didn't you think of Mom Foodies?
He asked him who they were going to arrest, and because that was Zungu took it as a joke. He said he stopped him from going to Gininda. He said he asked to go where he is employed, the police station. That's what the advice he was given to his son. He was, go to the police station if you feel like you found the right people. And he said that if he knows those people, he must go to the police station and not Gininda. He said he asked him why he went to Gininda. Where did he know? What did he know from him and about him? And he said that he knew him. He's able to go to the Pretoria and discuss all of these things with him. And he told him that Gininda can also arrest him. So he was literally threatening his father that, Gininda can arrest you.
I'm proud of Bragi.
He's able to arrest. He makes a lot of arrests. Ngakhumbula interview that has still left me with my jaw on the ground. But as I see collab, the interviews on the membership. Well, Zungu said that he heard from him, but he won't be able to arrest him. If there's anything wrong that he has done, then he will arrest him. Zungu said he knows his son. There are a lot of things that he watches and he would reprimand him. He told him that he would get a promotion. Gininda would promote him. He said he tried to tell him to leave Gininda alone.
Guess he's promoted to safe house.
And he says that he came back with a list and Gininda now knew who killed Senzo. He had come from Pretoria and told Gininda who killed Senzo Meyiwa. Well, Nisi went through the statement that Gininda said he took from him. Zungu said he never had a conversation with Gininda using English, first and foremost. And the address that was captured there is the Tembisa address. It's not address Yase Emelo. So as Gininda stated that he was given the statement in English, Gininda's statement says Zungu Senior was unemployed and temporarily worked at Piet Retief SG Coal Company. It's a coal company. And Zungu said he never worked in Piet Retief. And the statement was taken on the 17th of November 2019. Zungu said he was working in Emelo at that time, working in a plant, a mine. The statement said he met Mbekiseni in the squatter camps of Kwamashu in 2017.
The same person that stays with him.
Ati hini kona loko makwata kwata. The way it's written there, people of KZN would never say squatter camp, saying amash. Kwamash. The statement was written by someone who's so disconnected from that area.
Joburg type of a person.
You never call Kwamashu is squatter camp. Never. Never. That's an offense. Never. You'd never do that. Refer to Kwamashu as a squatter camp. Now he was shocked. He do kwata. Well, he said he's the one who told him about the fight that Ntanzi had with Etsusutu homeland. There's no such an area, guys. Sosotho Hariti Kislomak. We don't know what Sosotho is. Zungu said he does not know, that he never told him that. And Gidina's statement said Begiseli told him. And Zungu said he never had such a conversation with Begiseli. Gidinda wrote down whatever he wrote down, and he never told him that. So Gininda said the statement was taken at Maupanaga building in Pretoria. Zungu asked, was there no police station where they could have taken him to take the statement? He said that they wrote that statement themselves and they did as they pleased, and he never went to Maupanaga. He didn't even know how to pronounce it. Mapa leo. Well, he was also asking for more time. He said they must give him his time so that he can speak freely. He has a lot that he wants to say. Court adjourned. I'm done.
It is all done. Guys, yeah, we stayed for 2 hours today.
It's been a while since we pulled the 2 hour. But I had to include calls because I was like,
But it takes, guys. It does text. And then the following day, we are in trouble. But yeah.
I had to. It was just a special treat to include phone calls today. I wanted to hear from you guys what you picked up. What are the highlights? Now I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with Babu ABSALOM ZUNGU because I didn't think we'd see him so soon or hear from him so soon. I was like,
so that's it, guys.
what a good day it was.
Sivala nje kanjalo. Ukuphumula kubalekile ukuze sikubuyisele indaba zishisa. Yeah. So we don't have calls now because we took calls from the beginning. I know someone was saying you guys are gonna stay up until 3, but we have 8 to 5 or 8 to 4 jobs, guys. That's why sometimes becomes harder. Yeah. So
we're multitaskers.
Sevala fit. Siyabonga cool. Press the like button one more time. Sivale. Press the like button one more time. Laura, thank you. Komo, thank you. Stembile Mkwanazi, thank you. That's membership. Caesar 18, thank you. Tobeka D, moderator, thank you. Siyabonga. Cool. You were here. Yes. Sevala. Dokas Shabalal. Oh, thank you. Dokas. Siyabonga. You guys support us. Membership is here. Sibonga nje for that. Your present. You have graced us with your present. And we appreciate you. Kakulu. Press the like button on your way in, on your way out. Press your like button. Stembile Mkwanazi. Thank you. Siyabonga Stembile Mkwanazi. Nje. Kumnandi. Share membership namhlanje ezomfana. Share membership. Sibonga nje. Ginonke bafowethu. Who we've mentioned or even not mentioned. Sibonga. Press the like button. Your like is important to this channel. We appreciate you. Yes, Lanjiwe. Sevala indaba sibanda skhathele uthi go rest. Yes, your rest avele manje. Libo shomane sibonge gini lonke. Uthi someone rade would salute my people. Hey, salute. Hlanjiwe sibanda. Sivale kanjalo indaba iphelile. Mfethu. Hayi. Ongapheli kuyahlola.